Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Chirujas. I am the Director of Client Engagement here at Silent Beacon. And today I'll be doing a short demonstration on our panic button device and the cloud-based dashboard that helps manage the panic button device. So to begin, we are Silent Beacon. We were founded in 2015, and we started the company really to help people get access to emergency services during life's most critical moments. We are going to go over our ESS platform, our Enterprise Safety Solutions platform. That's going to include the Bluetooth panic button devices, the mobile application that it is connected to, the cloud-based dashboard that helps manage all these devices. And then we even have a mass alert portal, so you can send out internal text messages, emails, and even phone calls, all from the comfort of a desktop or anywhere that you have internet service. And then we do also provide a 24/7 professional monitoring center. So if you do not want it to call 911, if you don't want it to call someone internal, you can call our call center, which they can field the calls and then dispatch police if necessary. I know I showed you the panic button on my wrist there, but just to zoom in on that, this is what the panic button looks like. That watch band can be removed, so it does not have to be worn as a wristwatch. It can be attached to a lanyard where you can wear it around your neck, or it can be even clipped to an article of clothing. When the device is pressed, it's going to call any number that you program it to call. It can be the call center, and because it's a Bluetooth device, you can talk into the device directly. So it's Bluetooth, it operates within 200 feet to 300 feet in certain situations from your smartphone. It does have sensory indicators, so it does communicate with you as a user. So if I do press buttons, there is some visual feedback there so that you know exactly what's happening when you do engage the device. It is rechargeable, 42 days of battery life, pretty significant. I actually don't have an Apple Watch anymore. I moved to the Fitbit because I was sick of charging it every day, and that's not something you have to worry about with our device. It has a 42-day battery life, and we do have a few fail safes in place in case the battery does get low. Compact size, so it's pretty small, as you can see. It looks almost identical to a watch style, smartwatch. So if you want to be discreet and not make it obvious that you do have a panic button on you, it's not very obvious. Water resistant, it can withstand 5 to 10 minutes of continuous splashing before you risk any type of water damage. I've had mine for over a year. I've dropped it, accidentally kicked it, washed my hands, and I get water on it. So it's pretty durable. So you don't have to worry about replacing the device every time that you get rough with it. So what sets our device apart from the others that are on the market? One of the biggest differentiators with our device is that we give you the freedom to decide who it calls. A lot of other devices are going to force you into one direction to make a phone call, but if you wanted to call 911, great. If you want those alerts to stay internal and that phone call to dial someone within your office, great. If you wanted to call a call center because you don't have someone within your organization to man those phones and you want them to escalate it to 911, that's great too. Privacy protection, that is a big topic amongst employees, is that I'm installing some app on my phone. Does that now give the employer the ability to track me anywhere I go? Do not worry, it doesn't turn into like a track me feature. Basically, the only time that the GPS coordinates is being communicated out to your recipient group is when the user's willingly pressing the device. So it does give that employee that privacy that they require. And smooth integration and instant implementation are kind of one of the same. So if you say today, hey, Tyler, we love this, we want to go ahead and move forward, how do we get started? It's as easy as signing the agreements. Once agreements are put in place, we ship the devices out to you directly. And then we have two training calls. One is with the system administrator, the person that's going to configure these devices as to who they call and who they text. And then the next meeting is going to be with the people that are going to be carrying the Silent Beacon devices. And then we have a customer service rep that will check in with you monthly, quarterly, however often you would like. And then as a company, we do provide quarterly training sessions because you're going to get this device, you're going to love it. And then 6 months, 9 months go by. Some people need to be reminded on how it works. Don't worry, we've thought of that. We do provide continuous education. We also have a few alert patents, which I'll get into in a second. And then the Bluetooth 5.0 technology. So yeah, we are going to be piggybacking off of the cellular or the Wi-Fi of the phone, whichever of those three is the strongest. Different alert modes. We do more than just call out to a call center and send a mass text messages to your individuals. We also have a function called beacon to beacon alerts. That was one of the patents I was mentioning before. So beacon to beacon alerts is very useful for scenarios where I'm a receptionist. I pressed my panic button because someone came in and they're making me feel uncomfortable. Now that alert is going out to the people in the back room, all my management staff. Let's say management is in a meeting and they're just not paying attention to their phones. If any of those other managers also have a silent beacon, their beacon will start vibrating and blinking red, letting them know that, hey, someone in your network has pressed the panic button and it is time to assess the situation. So you'll have peace of mind, though, knowing that if you do receive that alert, they are currently on the phone with our call center getting help and they're dispatching police if necessary. Low battery alert, that is an excellent feature. So 42 days, you're like, man, that lasts a long time. You're going to forget to charge it. Don't worry, we thought of that as well. A low battery text message will go out to the user as soon as that low battery hits 10%. And then as an administrator, you can check anytime in the dashboard what the battery life currently is with each beacon that you've deployed. Now, going to the right here, we have silent mode. Silent mode is a very top requested feature that we've implemented. And what that does is that will mute the speaker. The LEDs are off, the speaker is off, but the microphone is still active. So when you're calling our call center, they can still listen in, figure out what's going on, and then they can dispatch police if they deem it's an emergency. So it won't be obvious to the room that you've press this panic button. You're not going to hear 911, what's your emergency, or thank you for calling Silent Beacon, what's your emergency. So it's not going to escalate the situation. So you can silence that speaker. So track footsteps. These last two are some of the location-based features that we have here. So track footsteps is very useful for scenarios where I'm an employee and I'm doing a visit. So we work with nursing staff that do in-home visits to their patients. They often go to problematic patients' homes or they're entering in areas that are not really that safe. So if you're not really feeling that safe, you can engage in footsteps mode. You hit that flat button down for 3 seconds. And as you can see, it just sent out a footsteps notification. And now my GPS coordinates is currently being live broadcasted to my recipient group. And then I can turn it off once I'm feeling safe again. So it's a really nice fail safe in case you call that employee, they don't answer, at least you have their current location. And now you can call police and say, hey, my employee is in an emergency and here's their location. And now check-in, that is basically the opposite of I'm in an emergency. What check-in is useful for is like that same employee that has now completed their visit with that patient, they can now send a non-emergency message to their recipient group, letting them know that, hey, I'm okay, but here's my location if you need it. Very useful for situations where you need to send regular check-ins to your employer. And how you do that is either through the app or you just hit the button 3 times, just like so. And now vibrates, blinks white, that check-in message has been sent to my contact group. Now, this is just to show you how the app looks from the user standpoint. So anything that Beacon can do can also be done from the home screen of the app. So you can engage in an emergency alert, you can engage in a check-in, and then you can also toggle footsteps mode on and off from the home screen of the app. So don't worry if you lose a beacon, you break one, and you're waiting for us to send you a replacement. No need to worry. You can still do everything that the Beacon do from the home screen of the app. Now, also, that same user can look at their paired status as well. They can see their Bluetooth paired status, they can see their battery life, and if they cannot find their beacon, they can hit that button right there, and the beacon will emit a little jingle letting them know that, hey, I'm right here until you find it. I actually had to use that recently. My beacon fell off in my car, and I was like, couldn't find it, and I finally pressed the button, and it was right underneath my passenger seat, so I was able to grab it. How do you manage everything? And that is through our dashboard, so let me navigate over there now. When I'm logging in, this is what I'll see. This is the control panel. The 5 most recent alerts will be here on the left, and it will be paired with that map. That map is interactive. You can click on any of the flags that you see on that map. So if you are deploying beacons across state lines, you'll be able to see that map feature here. So anybody that's in an emergency alert, no matter where you are, you'll be able to click in. So it's not confined to one location. You can even look at their past locations. So if they were to move during that emergency, you'll be able to see where they went. And if they're currently in an emergency, you'll see a green dotted line letting them know that, hey, red flag, this person's in an emergency, and this is where they're moving to. So God forbid a kidnapping situation, you'll be able to track that person live time. And then if you're receiving this alert from your smartphone, like on your smartphone, you click that link, if you get that text message, this is the same box you'll see. And I'll be able to press get directions, and I can get directions right to that employee's location within an instant. And then you can even see the approximate address, when the alert started, when did it end. Now moving on to adding people to the platform itself. It's very simple. You go to the users tab here, you'll press add new users, first name, last name, email, phone, and then you assign them a role. You can have as many admins as you like, so don't worry, it's not going to be responsible of one person to do all this work. You can spread that admin privilege out. And then dispatcher, that's going to be the person receiving the phone call. So if you don't want it to call 911 or our call center and you want to keep it internal, you can mark someone as a dispatcher, at which point it will make them eligible to receive that phone call. And then also the dispatcher has the ability to send out a mass alert for the composed alert feature, which I'll get into in a second. Beacon holder, that's important because anyone that is going to be carrying a silent beacon needs to be added here first. And so that gives them the ability to download the app, type in their phone number, and now they're connected to your platform. So don't worry, no one outside your organization can be integrated into your portal. Recipient. So this is very important. If you're adding recipients, people that are just getting the text messages and emails. So for example, there's a school district that we work with. They have 30 beacons and they have 300 recipients because they want to let some of the parents know when a panic button has been triggered. So you can add as many recipients as you like, and don't worry, you don't got to go one by one 300 times. We do have a CSV file here that you can populate on an Excel spreadsheet and then import that CSV file here so that it makes multi-device recipient deployment easy. Now the groups tab, this is where you're going to organize who receives the electronic communication when the beacon is pressed. So if you have a location in Chicago and you only want to let Chicago individuals know that the panic button has been pressed, you can organize that group. And you can do it for Florida, wherever you are. Now the beacon holders tab, this is where you're going to manage all your multi-device deployment. This is where you'll check in on their battery level, their connective status, what firmware version that they're on, who it's calling and who it's texting, and then also exchanging devices is all done on this platform here. So as you can see, I'm currently connected down here and my battery life is looking a little bit low, but it's still good. My firmware version is up to date. And as you can see, Scott, it's time to update your firmware. And just for reference, we do about 2 to 3 firmware updates a year. And that's really just to help launch new features that our development team works hard on. So it only takes about 5 minutes. I actually just got off a call with someone that had to do a firmware update and actually took her only 3 minutes because she had great cell phone and great connection. So it's very fast. So now if I want to change my dispatcher to the call center, or if I want to change it to 911, within a click of a button, I've now changed the person I'm calling. And actually my phone just gave me a push notification letting me know that my dispatcher has been changed. So you're not going to surprise anybody if you make adjustments on their behalf. And now let me quickly switch it back to Brad because I've accidentally called 911 before. So let's avoid that. So now it is back to calling Brad. And now who am I going to text, email, and push notify when my panic button has been pressed? That is through the groups tab here. If I need to select multiple groups, I can click any group I want and then press save. And now those people will be notified electronically when my panic button has been pressed. So I'll call the call center, and now it's also going to text these individuals. And then I can come back in here and uncheck any of the people that do not want to get notified. Now, if someone leaves the company, you can block a beacon or you can unpair a beacon. So it can sever the connection from their smartphone and can be exchanged to the next person. So all you can do is press unpair beacon. You reset the device by holding down both buttons for about 15 seconds until it powers itself off. And now that beacon can be paired to the next person. So it takes less than a minute to exchange these devices if people leave the company. And then block beacon is if someone leaves the company and they take that device with them, you can block the beacon, making it inoperable until they return it, at which point you can scroll up here and you can go into the block beacon section, and then you can unblock a beacon, making it operable again. Now the audit log section is the last section I'll go over. So anytime that a panic button has been pressed, a check-in, footsteps mode has been engaged is in the received alert section here. So for record keeping purposes, for internal audits, you'll have that information within a moment's notice. And then you can export that into an Excel spreadsheet for your own note taking. So if you need to note takes that this was a false alert or this is what happened, employee was attacked, we were able to dispatch police accordingly and respond, you can make those notes as well. The next section I'll show you is the mass alert section. So this is extremely useful for scenarios where I need to send out internally a mass text message, email, or even phone call because I want to let people know that the office is closed due to a snowstorm or some kind of tragic event, or even sometimes good things. If you want to announce someone's birthday, you can do that as well. So what you'll do is you'll come in here and press compose alert. You'll select the group that you want to receive this message, press continue, and now I can select 1, 2, or all 3 of these options. If I select text message, I can select a template that I created beforehand. So if you have commonly used text messages that are going out, You can create your own templates here in the bottom left. So I can select the template or I can type it out. Same thing with email. I can select the template or I can write it out. And then even voice call. So this is really useful. If I want to record my voice from my desktop, and then as soon as I press send alert, those groups that I selected above, they're going to get a text message, they're going to get my email, and they'll get a physical phone call with my voice recording playing until it hangs itself up. So it's very useful if you need to have internal communication, announce any type of things that you need to communicate mass to all your employees. And like I said before, it can be positive messages too. It doesn't have to all be doom and gloom. So next is activity history. And this is very useful for IT personnel or administrators that have access to this portal, where if anybody makes a change, you'll be able to see that here at any time. So if someone was removed from a group or if someone was permanently deleted from the system, you'll be able to see who did that activity, and you're not going to go on like a wild goose chase to find out who did it. So the last section that we'll go over is the external link section. So this is very useful if you need extra support. So we're always a phone call or an email away, but we do provide guides here that if you need quick references to how do I turn my beacon off again? How do I send a check-in? The dashboard guide shows you, okay, how do I add a user again? The dashboard guide helps you out with that. How do I connect my beacon to my app again? The app guide helps you with that. And any questions on the device as far as any of the functionality is also done in the manual. And of course, we do have the support page and the 1-800 number that you can call us at any time for extra assistance. So that, in a nutshell, that is the whole presentation. Thank you all so much for staying with me today and for hearing me out. We love the opportunity to bring some safety to your organization. So my number is down below. If you have any questions, you can give me a call.